Right, into game 3 now. It is Circle against Cryx again, and the particular flavour of Cryx that I encountered this time was a fair bit different from game 1. When I looked at his 2 list, it was Scaverous and P. Denegra, and neither of the lists really maxed out on Bane Thralls and Bane Knights. Each list had a single unit of Bane Thralls, and there was no Tartarus. This particular player really felt the pressure of everybody acknowledging Cryx to be the best faction, Tartarus to be one of the obvious to have to takes, and he just decided didn't want to take Tartarus just because of that reason. So kudos to him. Fair enough. I've actually gone for Mohsar because I believe that both of his casters really would be heavily shut down by the Druids. And in his list he had a lot of sort of stealth sort of stuff, and Mohsar can handle stealth with his teleporting shenanigans and his eyeless sight, and I really felt the time had come for Mohsar, especially because it was Capture the Flag as well and not Revelation. So those are the reasons why I've gone for Mohsar instead of Cromak against Cryx, whereas I took Cromak in game 1, and very excited to play this game because I have a solid idea about how to win, and this should be a bit of an easier game than game 1 ought to have been, although game 1 did turn out to be a bit easier than we both thought. Anyway, here's my deployment. Quite easy this time because I picked up first turn. I love that because I've got 2/3 of my army advanced deploying, so I can see where his stuff is, then plant down the Bloodtrackers and choose a prey target. I put them down to the left just because what I wanted to do there is use a couple of them to run out in Sands of Fate, and then use Mohsar to come back again. Whereas they're still actually preying the Bane Thralls, even though they're diagonally opposite from the Bane Thralls. I'll relocate them because my army is actually quite mobile, I should say. Next photo, let's have a talk about what he's got. He's got a lot of Bane Thralls to the left here. He's got some statistics, some satyxis blood witches, not the raiders, mind you, the ones with gang and the non-reach close combat weapons. He's also got a Leviathan, which is a bit of a scary jack. I mean, it's a very shooty jack, and it can do a lot of damage to the warbeasts, although it will have a hard time hitting the druids while they're in the clouds. Next photo, I've moved up here and I've put a line of clouds up, and the plan there is just to use the forest to completely split green line of sight with help from the druid clouds, and I'll keep the beasts or the wolds and Mohsar behind that little screen and the stones as well, so that I can just hang back. When he eventually does make it across my lines, the Bane Thralls don't actually have reach, so even if he ghostlies through the wall, he won't be able to strike at the druids, and well, not as effectively, and I'll be able to teleport my wolds over the little line there and deal to them. In the meantime, I'll be sending Mohsar on a lot of offensive Sands of Fate errands, missions I should say, and really causing some havoc, so I'm happy with the way that that's going to play. Obviously keeping my army in a bit of a brick too, so that the counter magic of 10 inches can actually shut down anything that he might try to play with there. Next image, he has sent both of his units directly into the middle of the battlefield, which I'm really liking. He's keeping all of his annoying support solos back, the ones that I can't deal with in tandem with everything else, but he's feeding me his 2 units, so I feel like already that's a little bit of a play in my favour. He doesn't actually quite know what I'm going to do yet, but as soon as he sees that, I feel that he'll sort of regret sort of not throwing all of his army at me in one go, so I'm happy with that as well. Next image, I've relocated. What I've done there is I've actually sent a single Bloodtracker out, I've done the Sands of Fate trick and come back again, and then I've sent all of the Bloodtrackers into the middle here, merging with the rest of my forces to retaliate against the inevitable Bane Thrall spam that's going to come across my way. The Mohsar errand, although I didn't take a photo of it because time turns, but pressed for time there, I'd actually netted both members of the Wither Shadow Combine, leaving just one of them left, and killing a couple of raiders as well, not raiders, witches. So happy with that run. Lost 2 Bloodtrackers in response, but 2 Bloodtrackers for 2 Wither Shadow, that is awesome. So really happy with the way that's gone. Next photo, the remnants of his witches just charging here and running into close combat with my guys. Again, happy that he's done this because the rest of his army doesn't have enough time to catch up, so I can actually kill these guys without having to worry about dealing with pistol wraiths and bane thralls and jacks and his caster all at the same time. So quite happy with that little move too. Megalith did put undergrowth up, but they're so quick they could actually quickly get through even without ghostly. they've actually already used their incorporeal move as well, which I was laughing at because Mohsar has magic spells and magic spray, so he was able to kill them regardless. And now that his little mini feat's gone, I can actually attack with the Stalker. So I'm very happy about how that's worked out. Next image, the Bane Thralls rush up here and engaging a lot of people, but the Bloodtrackers have preyed on the Bane Thralls, so we'll be able to do intense damage with them. Nuala's still there, so quick work with the throws should be able to net me a couple of around the corner javelin shots and reform, bringing them back into the clouds, making them a bit safer. And at this point, they're all getting plus 2 inches move as well, so that they can actually rush around and get some kills. Next image, the Leviathan has moved down off the hill trying to get some shots off at Megalith, but not doing too much damage. The Gerlak slaughtered guy has moved up as well, getting a percentage charge. I forgot to feat, which will shut down his arc nodes, but he's gone ahead and moved the little death chicken up anyway, the bone chicken, to try and arc some bit of a can of worms there into my druids and taking out a few of them. Unfortunately, well, a couple of Bloodtrackers and a Druid, I think, was what happened there. So Scaverous, I believe, using his feet turned to pull that off. Next image, on the left-hand flank, things going very well with the Stalker moving up and berserking, wiping out as many of these little witches as he can. Megalith taking out another couple, and I believe geomancing and a crevasse into some more, leaving just the witch UA herself, who rolls a 6 on her command check, or might have been a 10, can't quite remember, but she failed it. And he's got a little scrap thrall in the bottom of the photo as well, but hopefully he won't be able to hit this stalker in the forest, and I should be fine. Next image, Mohsar deciding to be cruel to the Cryx again and sandsfading his way out to the flank here, using his spray and crevasse to actually take out the banner bearer, who was not within a take-up range of anybody else, so managed to get rid of the tough on the whole unit, and the rest of the spells just crushing them really. So that's dealing with the Bane Thralls very effectively, and the Bloodtrackers mopping up. Next image, he does attack with his little scrap thrall here, misses his attack, blows up anyway, and does minimal damage on the Stalker, so that's not a problem either. Dealing with that little solo without too much hassle. Next image, this was going to be a tough one. The little slaughter guy charging into the cloud. Druids have a defensive melee bonus against, well, enemy models are -2 to hit. He needed 8s to hit. Potentially, if he'd kept hitting, he would have been able to cut through all of my guys, but luckily for me, he didn't hit on his first attack, saving me the loss of a number of different guys here, so I was quite fortunate there. Next image, he's chosen to charge Megalith with the Leviathan, and that really surprised me because the Leviathan's much better hanging back and shooting at my guys. I asked him after the game why he charged, and he said that he really wanted to overwhelm me with all of his guys because I was picking them off so well. And this comes back to what I was saying earlier. He's feeding his army to me piecemeal, and he only realised how bad that would be later on. And had he just sort of kept his whole army back and shot at me with just this one jack for the entire game, he might have actually done better, or if he just charged everything at once, fine. But in this case, charges in, does some damage to Megalith. Of course, Megalith can just heal his own aspects back and then punch him into the ground afterwards. So, didn't turn out to be the best move for the Leviathan. Next photo, the rest of the Bane Thralls getting in here, charging. Some of them can charge, missing the Druids, and other ones just getting a one order and coming in nearby. But at this point, pretty much holding the line very well. I only lost one Druid so far, except for this other move that he pulls off later with his little can of worms. Can't quite remember what happened there. Missed a couple of photos, I believe, but there was some damage from that spell. Next image, what Bloodtrackers I've got left, I think 4 of them. I've been sandsifading them heavily, and I've lost a couple to trackers and spells. Moving around here, picking off the last of the Bane Thralls, even I think getting a Warwitch Siren at one point. Can't quite remember, but I do know that the Bane Thralls were dispensed of, especially if you go to the next photo, the Wold Guardian been teleporting him to the back of the lines here. Quite a good photo, really did a bit more work with a paint job on him before I took him down to the event, but he was easily enough to slam the remaining Bane Thralls there into the ground. There is one more at the bottom left of the photo, but I think I took that out with the Druids or even the Gorax. So really feels good to get a big unit of Bane Thralls under your belt with the UA. Next image, that's the end of my turn. Pillars of Salt going down in front of the Jacks, just in case he pistol race one of them. I say Jacks when I mean beasts, of course. Pistol Wraith finds it very easy to actually snap off a couple of shots against Megalith or the Stalker and just hold them in place. So the pillars solve that problem, because pillars can't be destroyed by the pistols guns, because they're structures. You've got to have, I think, a power 12 or 14 or upwards of that to actually get the job done. So really in a good situation at this point. My opponent's left with very little, and I should be able to start rolling up the battlefield at this point and threatening his flag, if not killing his caster unless he runs away. Next photo, Scaverous just getting his hands dirty, rolling up his sleeves, running over here and threshering all 3 Bloodtrackers, boosting his hit rolls, and taking them out. So really shows that he's not afraid to fight for his life here, which he's going to have to. Next image, this other little scrap thrall guy charging the Druid, missing, blowing up and killing that Druid, so a little bit of hurt there, but at this point I can sustain 1 or 2 Druid losses. Next image, the chicken moving into the middle, Pistol Wraith having a crack at the Wold Guardian and hitting him twice, so that's frozen him, and the Ogren Bokur moving through the wall, trying to hit the wall but too far away at this stage. Next image, a bit of a brawl going out the centre here, where the Jacks move in. My beasts again move in to kill his Jacks. The Wold Guardian turns around but can't attack. Druid's still creating a screen there so that Mohsar can't be assassinated. But this is the point where I can move in the muscle now that I've cleared out most of the bad stuff, and putting down a few pillars in front of Scaverous just to annoy him, basically. It won't do too much, but will annoy him so that he has to sort of waste some of his time cutting through them. Next photo, Scaverous himself charges the Stalker in desperation there and spends a whole bunch of focus scything him down. But the happy thing there is that although he believes that I've lost my heaviest hitting thing, because the Gorax can't primal the 2 Wolds, the Wolds actually do hit for a ton. So if we go to the next photo, the Wold Guardian is teleported with the shifting stones behind Scaverous, activates, slams him to the ground, Megalith helping, and they just double team him until he's dead. So really enjoyed that game. I think that I played very, very well with Mohsar. It was a good matchup. It was a matchup I understood. It really played into the hands of the way I'd meted it, coming up with a list that could deal with just this kind of scenario and opportunity, and I think Mohsar was exactly the right choice there. Always felt like I was winning throughout that game, and very comfortable. My opponent made a few strategic mistakes, but generally not a terrible player. So really happy with 3 wins in a row. I'm at the top of the tables at this point, along with 2 or 3 other guys. So you can guarantee my 4th game is going to be against one of the other players who's also won 3 games and is on a roll as well. So that's where it starts to get epic and climactic. Hope for you guys to check that out in the next Bat Rep. See you then.